way how things have been put forward here in the lesson that we are studying. Yes. What is dealing with the sanctuary, the 2300 days? And again, I must just say, it was not a coordinated plan. Yes, last night, you name it, the Sabbath School Quarterly, the entire series. And then we have consecutively 2 quarterlies dealing with the sanctuary.
Very
That's
useful for those who are
right.
doing the study.
So the first question for us to answer in our lesson is, with what word does Gabriel begin his instruction? What words? Daniel 9:24. No, 9:24, no. Verse 24 begins a certain way. Yes. So what do you have? Is that just a full statement? So with what word? So the 70 weeks are determined. Right? So 70, we can argue whether it's prophetic or literal. But what does determine means?
Cut off, separated.
Cut off, separated. How do we prove that it means cut off, separated? Come up, we need all the definition.
The Greek for the term is cut off.
Greek for the term is cut off.
The Hebrew for the term means cut off.
All right. What does the dictionary say? I'm going to share my screen. And no, I don't want the note as yet. Right? The note is very important, but we are going to do our own due diligence. If it had not been for the note, how do we come up with our own answers? Right? Brother Davis alluded to one aspect, right? And that is the Hebrew and the Greek. But let us just briefly go through the dictionary as well. And we'll be looking at what Brother David has made mention of.
Daniel 9:24, you say?
Hold on, Brother Davis. I want us to do the dictionary first, coming back to the actual scriptures afterwards. Right? So I'm going to share my screen, and I want you to see what I have from the Webster's 1828 dictionary as we try to establish it. All right? Share my screen. Wait, what is moving? Oh, okay. Here. Are you seeing it? Right? Somebody read out these definitions for me. Brother Davis, my screen is big enough for you to see as well?
Oh, I am, hold on a little bit. Let me find, because I am in the concordance.
Brother David, I just want you to acknowledge whether or not you can see it plainly.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I am trying. I am getting there. Yes, I can see it plainly. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Sister Lowell,
one, to end, particularly to end by the decision or conclusion of a cause, of a cause or of a doubtful or controverted point.
Would that be in the same understanding of cut off?
No.
Yes, to me. In other words, it is determined.
Oh, yes. Conclusion. Yes.
To what?
To
end and
fix. Yes.
So in the context of Daniel 9:24, just using the dictionary for now, so far we see that
it proves it.
Right? It proves it. Move to 3.
3. To fix on, to settle or establish.
I can't use but to determine, to determine, but however the dictionary does.
Yes.
4.
To end,
to limit,
to bound, to confine.
So if 70 weeks were In other words,
to bound,
limited
limit, yes,
the
to
Jews,
limit the Jews.
would it be in that
Line
very
with the
same reckoning
Yes.
of cutoff?
70 weeks are
Limited to the Jews.
amen.
So what we are
Right.
doing here, just by looking at Daniel 9:24, is doing some substitution of some synonymous words,
Amen.
right?
Amen.
Marvin,
Yes.
happy Sabbath. Job 14:5 also, I think, would have been a witness. It says, Job 14 verse 5, it says, seeing
Yes.
his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bones that he cannot pass.
That's a
So,
beautiful part.
if
We're
we
getting
ap-
there, now, sister. Just hold that point a little. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there.
And if
We're
you're dealing
getting
with
there.
some- if
We're
you're-
just using the dictionary for now, and we're going to go through the Bible as well.
So if you're dealing with somebody who don't
Yes.
know the way we do it, then
Yes.
you can do that.
And that's a
one
very
too.
good point that
Yes.
Sister
Williamson. Yes.
just raised.
So-
Look at 6.
To
start,
resolve,
To resolve.
that
That is to end or
or-
settle a point in the mind.
Mhm, mhm.
Right? This
7,
to destroy.
yeah.
And if you read Daniel 9:24 within the context, you're going to see
Description is
that
there, yes.
right. To resolve, to conclude, you name it, right?
Make.
Determine. Right. With that said now, interestingly, let me just stop here in a minute here. What Brother Davis alluded to is that the Greek and the Hebrew. But did you know that there are several words, Hebrew words, for determine? All right? I'm going to bring up my concordance, and I suggest you do, well, I'll just bring it up and we all share in that. Do it. Right? And I'm going to look for determine, and we are going to look and see how that will play out. All right? Going to my concordance, I'm going to Bible search, and I need determine. M-I-N-E-D. All right, share screen again. Going to share my screen. All right, what are we seeing here? Are you seeing the screen clearly? Let me share this one first. When I did the search, Sister Cherise, are you there? Sister Cherise? Am I being heard?
Yes.
Okay. According to the search, the word determine is found 30 times. Anybody with a concordance? And you do your search? Tell me what you have found for the word determine. Yes.
30 times as well.
30. And here you have it. Now, Sister Cherise had read the one from Job. Let me just stop sharing this now and we actually go to the live search. Right. Eastward. I'm using eastward for my concordance search here. Eastward. And looking at the word determine, I'm seeing from the Hebrew, I'm seeing H 3615. I am also seeing H 7760. I'm also seeing H 559. I'm going to jump down to where Job
Age 2852.
2852.
Yes.
Right?
Short
So
talk.
right.
Short talk.
Hebrew, I've made mention of it before.
Okay.
That is the Hebrew, yes, Hebrew reference.
Right.
Right?
It is saying decree, determine, cut off.
Right. So I'm going to go to the one in Job that Sister Sherry has read as well.
Yeah,
Which
sound
is-
like a beautiful one.
So that
I like
is
that one.
H2782. And I'm going to click right here. Just showing you, I don't know if you're seeing it on the screen. It says the prime rule properly shortened, that is literally to wound, figuratively, to be alert, to decide, right? To decide, to decree, to determine, right? That is what had the mic. Okay, right? So the one in that Sister Sherry is quoted here in Job doesn't use the word or the phrase cut off. So let us go now to Daniel 9:24 and see the word that is used there. So here you have Daniel 9:24. It is what? H28 what? 52. And let's see how it reads. There you have it. The primitive root properly to what?
Cut off.
To cut off.
Figuratively, to decree.
To decree. But decree was in the previous one, but cut off was not there. So that is for those who want to use the Hebrew and the Greek. Well, in here primarily, want to see H? Let me just show you the difference.
H is Hebrew.
H mean Hebrew, G mean it's Greek. So the Old Testament, you will find H, because the Old Testament, you'll find that in Hebrew, the New Testament, Greek. And for those scholars who study Hebrew and Greek, these are what they would use and know the various languages. But again, without that, this is when, if we are going to use the Hebrew and the Greek. Let us look directly at the text now. Daniel, again, 9:24. And there is somewhat a level of answer, or the Bible interprets and answers itself. Look at Daniel 9, again, 24. Daniel 9, 24. And you can get that answer from it without knowing the Hebrew and the Greek. Even by using the dictionary, you can see not always the Bible is its best interpreter, but even with an English language understanding, you can still see the same, right? It says 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon what? If it is determined, what is that determining factor? What is it? It says now to what? To finish transgression. So here you are going to have an understanding that whatever is going to, that cutoff is about, it is about finishing transgression. And it goes further, which we can just stop here for now. Yes.
Looking, but you saying that a while ago, looking at the other part too, after transgression, it said, and to make an end.
Right. We can go in.
So he's stopping right there enough. He's just telling us where determined comes in for it. Yes.
Closely associated with
end.
Determined end.
Yes.
Right? So that is where we are. Let me just end sharing here a little. So determine means what? Based on what we have looked at. Determines mean to what?
Cut off. End.
given, we have seen that,
Limit.
allocated, decided on, restricted to, right? To mark off, and what else? To decree as well.
To limit.
Right. So there we have. So we find out that 70 weeks are determined. 70 weeks are what? Cut off. 70 weeks are allocated. 70 weeks are marked off. Plain and simple, don't? What is not so plain and simple?
Plain and simple meaning I've got through some of it.
All right. All right. Question 3 now. Yeah, man, we answer question 1 already. Yes, it determined. So we are now at question 3. Upon whom were they cut off? What was to be accomplished during that time? So the first part we're going to look at now. Upon whom were they cut off? Come, class. How do we know that it is the Jews? Let us read the text. Daniel 9:24 again.
Thy people.
Thy people. Now the question I asked, the follow-up question to that, brilliant brother David. Who is thy people? Eh? So we need to find out who is thy people. Let me hear your answers. Who is thy people? Come, class, give us some scripture. I don't want us to be talking more scriptures to substantiate our points.
Revelation.
I hear this, the leaves turning. Come, Sister Sasha. Give Sister Sasha the phone here. The mic.
Mic check. Exodus 3.
Exodus 3. Amen.
And we're going to read from 7 to 10.
Hold on, let me find it on the phone here. Go ahead.
Exodus 3, 7 to 10. And it said, and the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and to the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Evites, and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptian oppressed them. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of.
You said my people. David says thy people. So we need thy people. You're representing, you're stating my people.
Yeah.
Exodus.
That's what I was just going to point out, because the text says thy people.
Yeah.
The Gabriel is saying thy people to Daniel. So it's Daniel's people.
Oh, you believe it's only Daniel's people?
I'm not sure. I'm just putting that
Very
out.
Brother Bose is right.
Ah,
Brother Bose is right.
we're getting there. Who else? Who else?
I'm trying to win my way into this thing.
Well, David, why you go and search where I deal with? When you found it, that's the time you want you.
So when me find me talk.
Well, so Ella down the back there. Come in, brother Sheldon. Yeah. I'm Daniel.
Please.
Hold on, brother David. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
Acknowledge you afterwards, brother D.
All right. So in verse 7,
Of what?
chapter 9, Daniel chapter 9.
Daniel 9. Continue.
It says, O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day. To the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries where thou hast driven them, because of their transgressions that they have trespassed against thee. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of faces, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. So we see exactly which people is being mentioned here in
To
verse
all,
11.
yeah.
Say, yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
Yes, that is reading the entire thing within its context. You can get those answers. Beautiful.
Amen.
Beautiful. Three, Brother Davis, your turn, and then I'll give
No,
three.
me not have nothing to say because brother Gardner hit the nail straight on the head.
All right.
No, that one the classic bad.
All
Believe
right.
me.
Come
I
back
was
to
listening. Hold on. I was about to read Deuteronomy 9 verse 12.
Mhm.
But this was God speaking to Moses about Moses, God calling the Israel Moses people. And we are talking about Daniel's people. But I'm really impressed with the one that Brother God read a while ago. So
So
I will
it is therefore thy people who want to focus on Brother David.
I will
That would,
shut up.
so Exodus 5, 22 and 23. And somebody can find 2 Chronicles 9, 6:29, 2 Chronicles 6:29, Psalm 77:20, and the last, should I use this one as the last? There are several here. I think we need to break it down very quickly. Exodus 5:20. Yes, the 22 to
And
23.
Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Lord, wherefore hast thou so evil entreated this people? Why is it that thou hast sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to this people, neither art thou delivered thy people at all.
So here you have thy people, but we know by familiarity with scripture who it is referring to. But we want a more explicit one. Let us continue to go to it now. 2 Chronicles 6:29 to 30. And this one is very important because here Daniel, you see what Solomon has written here. And Daniel is actually praying a prayer in connection with when the temple year is being dedicated here, as we see in Chronicles. So that is the
Second
full.
Chronicles 6:29.
Yes, Brother Bose was about to read it, Brother David. Go
Oh,
ahead,
go
brother.
ahead, Brother Bose. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Then what prayer or what supplication soever shall be made of any man or of all thy people, Israel.
So thy people who?
Israel.
Israel.
29.
29. So here all I'm doing is utilizing Miller's rule, right? So you're looking for the phrase, thy people, and you type that in your concordance, and you will get a lot. I've just selected a few. We did the same thing for determine. However, I should have hastened to say also that in Daniel 9:24, there are two, I believe, 25 to some extent, being kind of slipping there, but determine is used twice. And in those passages, it is two different Hebrew rendering. Right? Determine. That slipped me. I should have said it earlier. Daniel 9:24 and 25. There's two determine that is used, and each one is two different rendering. Right? But nonetheless, based on the various definition for determine, it is equally applied. So you don't have to really know the technicalities between Hebrew and Greek. All right. So you finish read 2 Chronicles? Go ahead now.
When everyone shall know his own sore and his own grief, and shall spread forth his hands in this house.
30.
Then hear thou from heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive and render unto every man according unto all his ways, whose heart thou knowest, for thou only knowest the hearts of the children of men.
So this situation, does it fit Daniel and the Jews situation? They were what? God's people. Right here they are making supplication with their face towards where? The temple in Jerusalem. So this is Solomon's prayer being answered. Just wanted to make that very clear as well. And then in Chronicles also, it says, if my people who are called by what? My name shall do what? Humble themselves and pray. So there goes Sister Sashoy definition. She went and looked for God's people, my people, right? That is what you went.
And on in 30 as well, sanctuary there,
Question,
Brother D,
the heavenly sanctuary.
who is that?
question, brother. Question, brother. Me.
My-
Did Brother Gordon read? At Daniel 9, Daniel was praying that prayer. Daniel was a type of Christ in that.
Yes.
Would we say
Yes.
Daniel was a type of Christ in that case? Because he was pleading for us. And Christ in John 17, he prayed again for every Christian who ever passed through history.
Yes.
Him say, not only I pray not for them only, but for them who shall hear of me through their word.
Yes, Brother D, but that's a parallel study. We want to actually come directly to this now.
Okay, all right.
Psalm 77:20. 77:20, and then we touch on two more, Luke 2:32, and then I'm going to use Daniel chapter 1 and to put the icing on the cake here. It's a lot.
Psalm 77:20.
Yes, though let
Don't
us
let
die.
us die people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron.
Luke 2:32. Luke 2:32.
Luke 2,
32.
32. A light to lighten the Gentiles and the glory of thy people Israel.
Here you have specifically, it says Israel now, right? Acts 23 verse 5.
Acts 23, verse 5.
Yes.
Then said Paul, I wish not, brethren, that he was the high priest, for it is written, thou shalt not speak evil of the ruler of thy people.
So here you have it again. You're seeing that Israel, and a whole in particular, it's referring to the high priest, and high priest come from which tribe? Levi. Yes, Sister Kane.
The children of Israel were taken out of Egypt. When Moses went up onto the mount, God said, you should go down because thy people whom thou have taken out of Egypt have corrupted themselves.
Yes, I think somebody here made mention of that a few
Yes,
ago.
I mentioned it in Deuteronomy.
Yes.
I
Brother
had it
D.
in Deuteronomy. Yeah.
Here you're going to have the scenario. Thanks, Brother D. You're going to have the scenario that being played right out now. In Daniel chapter 1, can somebody just find Daniel chapter 1, reading from verse 1 to 6? And the answer is beautifully
Yeah,
stated
I
here now.
actually was going to read that to answer the first
Yes.
question. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim,
King of
king
Judah.
of Judah,
So
came
Judah brought
Nebuchadnezzar.
into being here.
But hold on, now
Right.
it says, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem and
Mhm.
besieged it.
And besieged it. Continue now.
And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hands.
So here you have King of Judah reigning, and he's now being subjugated.
Mhm.
Right? So these are the Jews, Judah, the Jews. Right? But it is not limited only to the Jews, as we are going to see. Continue.
With part of the vessels of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, Lord G, and he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God, Lord G.
Continue, I'm not finish it.
And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuch, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans.
Continue to 6.
And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. Now, among these were of the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah.
So primarily here, in its primary sense, you're seeing that they are from the children of what? Judah. So
Judah.
thy people here specifically,
Refers to Judah.
are we all in agreement?
Yes. Not hearing your brother Marvin.
From Sister Reed.
All right, Second Chronicles 36. Gonna read from 16. I'm not gonna read everything. So, but they mocked and the messengers of God and despised his word and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord rose against the people, his people, till there was no remedy. Therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldees, who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, and had no compassion upon young man, or maiden, old man, or him that stood for age. He gave them all into his hand. And all the vessels of the house of God, great and small, and the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king, and of his princes, all these he brought to Babylon. And they burnt the house of God, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem, and burned all the palaces thereof with fire, and destroyed all the goodly vessels thereof. And them that had escaped from the sword carried they away to Babylon, where there were servants to him and his son until the reign of the kingdom of Persia.
And another way to look at it too, where was Jerusalem? Where was Jerusalem? The sanctuary in Jerusalem. Where is Judah? Right. So primarily in terms of the what I was about to say. In other words, the temple of Jerusalem is in Judea. Am I right? So that is also another way to look and see exactly who are thy people here referred to that 9:24. Next question. Go on with it. The scepter. Right. Right. Next question. Now, what is to be accomplished during that time? A hand round the back there. What is to be accomplished at that time? Daniel 9:24, the second part of it.
All right. So this one, what was supposed to be accomplished was a complete reformation of the people. They should make an end of sin, and they should just change their ways in order to bring in the Messiah and to bring in the most holy. So
Amen.
that's what was supposed to happen, a complete reformation in Judah.
In Judah. Complete reformation. Brother Davis, I heard you were coming on to say something. Agree,
Go
amen.
ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
Brother, just summarize it, but I have listed them all.
But I just wanted to add to.
Yeah.
Yes, finish transgression, end of sin, make reconciliation is a different thing for iniquity, right? And then to bring in everlasting righteousness. So sin no more.
Yes. And I go a little further to seal up the vision and the prophecy and to anoint the most holy. In other words, all these things are complete reformation, as Elder said. Now, if Israel had accepted and to anoint the most holy, which was Christ. Then the promises, especially in Isaiah's prophecies as to what Israel would have been like, lying down with the lion and all of these things. And so as the days of a tree, so shall the days of my people. That would be, I don't know how it would be fulfilled, but the prophecy is there. And that conditional prophecy, had Israel been fulfilled, had Israel accepted all these requirements and so forth, that would have been the condition of Israel.
This was a time of the end for the Jews.
Yes. So if the Jews had accepted and anointed the Messiah, Christ, then what we have today would not have been.
No.
And then I don't know how God will work it out and how he would eventually destroy sin and then give everlasting. I know the second, well, this would be the first coming. Would there be a need for the second coming? I can't answer that. But because Israel was not faithful, hence here we are.
Well, God has been preparing his people.
And he knew beforehand.
So he has been
He
preparing
knew
them.
beforehand.
He had been preparing them to
Yeah.
carry out the duty. I believe so.
If we go to Jeremiah 17,
All right, we're going there, Brother D.
if we,
And-
yes,
and then-
we realize that God had the Jews obeyed God, there would not have been a Babylon, Media, Persia, Greece, and Rome, and we would not really see the time, because he said that if they obeyed.
Give me the verse in Jeremiah 17.
Let me go there, please.
You had it.
I think it's in the 20s. Jeremiah 17. Let's go down to 24. It says, and it shall come to pass. Okay, but all right. Okay, now let's come back up to verse 20. And say unto them, hear ye the word of the Lord, ye kings of Judah, and all Judah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem that enter into by these gates. Thus saith the Lord, take heed to yourselves, and bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Neither carry forth a burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day. Neither do any work, but hallow ye the Sabbath day as I commanded you. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their neck stiff, that they might not hear nor receive instruction. And it shall come to pass, if ye diligently hearken unto me, said the Lord, to bring you no burden through the gates of the city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, to do no work therein, then shall they enter into the gates of the city, kings and princes, sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, and their princes and the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the city shall remain forever. And they shall come from the cities of Judah, and from the places about Jerusalem, and from the land of Benjamin, and from the plain, and from the mountains, and from the south, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices, and meat offerings and incense, and bringing sacrifice of praise unto the house of the Lord. But if ye will not hearken unto me to hallow the Sabbath day, and bear a burden, even entering on the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, then will I kindle a fire in the gates thereof, and it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem, and it shall not be quenched. And Jerusalem was burnt down twice already.
All right, Brother David, you got too much. You get a lot out of this one. Thank you very much, nonetheless. Thank you very much. Very good and fitting, and it just concretizes and connects everything. So here you had it. Had the Jews accepted? I saw two one. Elder, you had your hand up, and I see Brother Bowles and Fire as well, rearing to go. You too.
I won't ask the question. Okay.
You don't ask the question.
I changed my mind.
You change your mind. All right.
Unrelated though, thy people, I'm just realizing when Gabriel said it, it was now showing God's disapproval for the Jews. Because normally he would say, these are my people. And now he's saying like, thy people, those are your people, not God's people.
No man, remember
Not quite.
this is not God talking, it's Gabriel talking, you know.
Yes.
No, I understand that, but Gabriel could have said God's people, are God's chosen.
If they were
people.
rejected, Gabriel wouldn't be giving such good instruction. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But I
But
understand.
Daniel had prayed for their forgiveness. Daniel had just praying for their for forgiveness. So,
Yes.
you know,
So,
that's all.
so that is beautiful. So we'll move on to question 4.
But before you get there,
Wow.
it is a view. It is a view to us to see now what's in our present day 2024, what these God's people, the Jews, are now doing to other persons, physically and in the war and everything.
But Brother
When
D,
God's people
we're not
pray,
even gonna go
what
down that line. We're not even gonna go down that line. That is not where
yes,
and
help us to get it to.
that is far not in line what we are studying
It's not
here.
applicable at
You're
all.
right.
Right.
You're
So we'll
right,
leave that
thank you.
alone. So question 4.
Thank you.
When were the 70 weeks, 490 years to begin? Verse 25 of Daniel chapter 9. Know therefore and understand that from what?
The going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah. The prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times.
Now, we're not going to go into the calculation. It asks a very important, specific question. When were the 70 weeks, the 490 years to begin?
From the going forth of the commandment.
When
to
and where do
restore.
we find that?
Book of
Ezra.
Ezra, chapter
Ezra
7
7,
specifically.
457 BC.
Verse 22.
Well, again, there were 3 different decrees. Well, 4, technically speaking. But the first 2 were specific to the building the house. Right? The first 2 were specific to building the house. But the third one is the only one that put magistrates and put a city council in place and put a government in place that was more all-encompassing. The other 2, the 2 were specific to building the sanctuary.
And when was that specifically?
That was in the 7th year of the reign of Artaxerxes.
7th year, and that 7th year is which year?
Well, he started in 464, so the 7th year is 457.
457. You know, I have something very, very interesting. How much time do I have for me? None? So we have 15 minutes. All right, the lesson points for verse 25 in which we have looked at. Let's see. Let us read Ezra 6, 14 to 15. 6.
Ezra 6,
14 to
14 to 15. And the elders of the Jews builded, and they prospered through the prophesying of Haggai, the prophet, and Zechariah, the son of Iddo. And they builded and finished it according to the commandment of the God of Israel, and according to the commandment of Cyrus and Darius, and Artaxerxes, king of Persia.
So how many kings we see here?
Uno, dos, tres. 3.
Cyrus, Darius, and what? Artaxerxes. Right? Continue.
And this house was finished on the 3rd day of the month Adar, which was in the 6th year of the reign of Darius the king.
All right. See, like you're rearing to go in there. I have Ezra 7 onwards. You want to jump in between?
No, I'm just saying that if it were any one of the previous decrees, the house would have been completed by now.
Yeah.
So that's why we couldn't use any of the previous ones.
So it has to be
because-
on the last one.
Yes, because the house was finished
Yes.
in the 6th year
So-
of Darius.
Yes. So this is perfectly in sync. Right here. So Ezra 7, reading from 7 to 13.
Ezra 7, 7 to 13. And there went up some of the children of Israel, and of the priests and the Levites, and the singers and the porters and the Nethinims, unto Jerusalem in the 7th year of Artaxerxes the king. And he came to Jerusalem in the 5th month, which was in the 7th year of the king. For upon the 1st day of the 1st month began he to go up from Babylon. And on the first day of the 5th month came he to Jerusalem, according to the good hand of his God upon him. For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord, and to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgments. Now, this is the copy of the letter that the king Artaxerxes gave unto Ezra the priest, the scribe, even a scribe of the words of the commandments of the Lord, and of his statutes to Israel. Artaxerxes, king of kings, unto Ezra the priest, a scribe of the law of God of heaven, perfect peace. And at such a time, I make a decree that all they of the people of Israel and of his priests and Levites in my realm, which are minded of their own free will, to go up to Jerusalem, go with thee.
And it will continue, but here we can have pretty much a
Um,
summary of
Sir,
this.
Brother Marvin,
Yes, Brother D.
notice, though in verse 14 of chapter 6, it says Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, the next word is king and not kings. And again, when you read in the chapter 7, it stresses Artaxerxes. So that I think that is important to point out that the most important decree of the three is the one that Artaxerxes 457. The others are supportive, yes, but it's a king and not kings.
Okay.
Well, the one thing I would say is every time you
I hope
read
it makes
this,
sense.
we have to go back to Daniel chapter 9 and verse 25 to see what was specified. It says from the going of the commandment to restore and to rebuild
build
Jerusalem. And the
Right.
first two decrees did not restore Jerusalem, though they restored the sanctuary. But this one
Yes.
restored, it says anybody that's so minded,
Free will of
go
your,
back to Jerusalem if
Yes.
you want. So Jerusalem is now free.
they were not
Fully
under
restored.
any restrictions not to
It
go.
It was
built and
restored
then
at this point. The city itself,
was-
not just the sanctuary, but the city itself.
Amen.
The city was built and ready to receive them because the temple was built, the government now was being put in place. And the
Right.
walls would have been built in a short time after. Yes, so they were ready. Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm wanting to look at some. Yeah. Yes, sorry about that, brother man.
Check. Yeah, I was gonna say we could look at Ezra chapter 9. Ezra 9:9.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about it a while ago. It included the rebuilding of the wall as well. So when you read Ezra chapter 9, verse 9, let me find it. It says, "For we were bondmen, yet our God had not forsaken us in our bondage, but had extended mercy unto us in the sight of the kings of Persia, to give us a reviving, to set up the house of our God, and to repair the desolation thereof, and to give us a wall in Judah and in Jerusalem." It shows that it was a commandment by Ezra that really facilitated that full restoration of Jerusalem. The command to Ezra, yeah.
All right. The setting up of the wall. Very important, eh? And very interesting. If the walls are down, what does that mean? When the walls are up, what does that mean?
If
Just
the
like-
walls
we
are
just
down,
need
you have,
The wall
op-
simply-
you have open borders.
to the you are.
And then all of Nehemiah is dedicated to the building of the wall and the government and so on. So when the wall was built in Nehemiah, we said the wall shall be built in troublous times.
Here, yes, brother.
That's the description.
I have just about 5 minutes left now, and I want to wrap up here.
Oh.
I just did, I started out on a particular project which I need to finish on, and that project was trying to validate every aspect of our beliefs, validating them by dates and so forth. And I need to resume it. This person, David A. Miller, PhD, right? A director here at Brunel University. This man is not an Adventist based on my preliminary search of him. He's not associated with Adventism as far as I'm aware. The preliminary search that I've done. Maybe that he is or was, I don't know. But I just did a little search trying to find out 457, if it was indeed correct. And he did this book known as Prophetic Secrets and the New World Order. And in page 108, I want us to read what he says, and we're going to look at a chart and to see where he has reached in his calculation. Still alive, man. Watch this one. Can I get a reader? Come for me, sister reader.
All right. So the decree to rebuild Jerusalem came in the year 457 BC. This is when the king of Persia, Artaxerxes, permitted the Jews to return to Jerusalem. The decree allowed the taking of a freewill offering from Persia to use to rebuild the city and the temple. It proclaimed freedom to obey the God of Israel in all the area west of the Jordan River. It relieved all Levites and ministers from paying tolls or tributes. This is the date that starts the 2300-day-year prophecy of Daniel 8. It also starts the 490-day prophecy of Daniel 9. The 490 were cut off from the 2,300 days. The walls were to be rebuilt. The Jews could organize their government and choose their own officials. This decree came in the 7th year of Artaxerxes, of the reign of Artaxerxes, 457 BC, and is recorded in the 6th and 7th chapters of Ezra. So it's a 7 weeks plus 62 weeks plus 1 week equals 70 weeks. Starting at the date of 457 BC, we count the 70 weeks of days. 70 weeks times 7 days equal 490 days. Using the 1 year for a day principle, for Bible prophecy, the 490 days become 490 years. From BC 457, we count 490 years and come to the year AD 34.
And tell me that this man is not Adventist. You can't tell me that.
And evil that
Say you can't. There's for you to convince me of that. I am not buying it.
Watch
We
this.
need to do
Hold on
more
now.
research on this.
Hold on. This is very important. Remember remember the Protestant world. The Protestant world embraced even before Miller the day for a year principle. Not in its entirety, but you can find examples of those in some encyclopedia of Christendom believing the day for a year principle, because the Jews themselves believe it, and the Jews predated those people. So the day for a year principle is clearly taught and seen. Yes, and I have also seen, but maybe I don't recall him coming to 1844, but I was shown clearly from a Sunday minister the 70-week prophecies, and it was indeed correct. I don't recall 1844 being Hanish child, but he did aspect leading up to the 2300 days, portions of it, but not in its entirety, based on my recollection. Now, continue. See, watch this now. Come, sister Kane, finish read. We end the Sabbath school for today after she finished.
Yes.
Not hearing what is being said.
Hello, mic check. Yes, so
Yes,
it
he's here now.
says we count 490 from 457, we end up at 3480, right? And we see from 34 AD to 1844 is the 1810 years. And from 457 to 1844 is the 2300 day prophecy. You know, Brother Fagan raises that.
Well, I want to tell you, this person, this is actually taken from Google Books. That is where I got this as well. So you might not be able to find the book by itself now, but it's available on Google Books. Go ahead, Brother Keith.
Right. I just wanted to just comment a little bit on what you mentioned a while ago about the day for year principle. I'm not sure if you're familiar, or many of you are familiar with this particular book. That's Haley's Handbook, Bible Handbook, which is a Sunday keeping handbook and guide. When they go into it, the day for year principle is there. Islam and Bible prophecy is there. The papacy being the Antichrist is there. All of those things is there.
All right. Thank you. If you have it, Brother Keith, you can share it in the Zoom chat. All right. Thank you very much. We now turn over to the moderator, Sister Lee.
Thank you so much, Elder Marvin, for ably taking us through our our Sabbath school review lesson. Very, very lively discussions. Thank everybody for participating. And now we are at our welcome and fellowship, and that will be done by Sister Leanne Bowes. Sister Leanne, Sabbath, time.
Happy Sabbath, everyone.
Happy
How was
Sabbath day.
everyone's week?
Great.
My
Great,
week was
great.
determined.
Rough, good, determined. All right. So I will start with the people that are physically here. First, we'll start off with the host, Sister Lee. And I believe that she has everything under control. And welcome, Sister Lo. And my family, the Bowes family. Hello. Sister Shashoy. Hi. The Gordon family. Hello. Happy Sabbath. And the Allen family. Hi. And Uncle Marvin. Hello. On Zoom. I did. On Zoom we have Brother Keith Fagan. Happy Sabbath.
Sabbath.
And then we have Sister Cherise, the Williamson family. Happy Sabbath.
Thanks, Leon.
You're welcome. Then we have Ron.
Happy Sabbath.
Ron. Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Then we have Brother Davis. Hello. Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath, Leon. Happy Sabbath,
And the
everyone.
Westcar and the Fagans family. Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath, baby.
Sister Brown, happy Sabbath. Hello. Always have your camera on. And that's it. Like that. Handing back over to the host, Sister Lee. Yay!
Thank you so much, Leanne, for doing the welcome for us. Now we are gonna break. We will take we just take a 5-minute break. We'll start back at 5 minutes to 12, so it's about 7 minutes break. So we'll see you back here in 7 minutes.